kids need to read every day. It's really good for kids to practice reading, but also our children are reading below grade level. A lot of our children across the country are struggling readers and reading below grade level. I meet parents all the time and do consultations and assess the reading. A lot of our children cannot read their sight words, the adult sight word list. They struggle in their sight words. The most recent assessment I did for a new student coming in, they struggle with the first column of pre-primary level, right? So they struggle with sight words. They have, fear of reading aloud because they think they're going to make a mistake, and then if a word is too big, they're ready to quit, okay? The problem is that in school, they need to sit down and be able to read their work, read their instructions in order to complete assignments, to complete tests. And it's much better for them to be able to function independently, be able to read their assignments and their work on their own, and be able to read what's on the board and get their work done instead of waiting for someone to read it for them. Because if they're waiting for someone to read it for them, then it's highly likely that our children are going to become distracted, moving around, doing other things, talking to their peers, because they have to sit and wait. There's not one teacher for every child. So we cannot send our kids to school needing one-on-one assistance and thinking that they're going to have a good educational experience and be successful. It just simply is not possible. Okay? So we should make sure, as parents, I'm talking about parents, we're going to equip our kids at home. Anything that they are behind in, we're going to work with them at home with strategies that improve behavior, focus, reading, math, all at the same time, y'all. And we equip them so we can send them to school equipped for success, and they can function independently in the classroom. Give you a little background on myself before we get into the tips. I was a mental health specialist, and I became a special education teacher. When as a mental health specialist, I learned that the majority of the kids that came to our program, it was a partial hospitalization program. We improved their behavior and their social skills through behavior modification, right? But they would improve their behavior, but they would fall apart when it was time for them to do their homework because they couldn't read, couldn't write, couldn't spell. Some of them couldn't even write their own names. And we were shocked, like, what? Like, we didn't understand why they were not able to do this. And then I realized that there's a correlation between acting out and distracted behavior in the classroom and also illiteracy. So I decided that I was going to somehow become a teacher so that so I changed careers, y'all, because I wanted to help improve. I felt like we were only doing half of the job. If we were improving behavior, we were teaching them how to have self-control and follow directions and make good choices. We're teaching them how to do all those things and express themselves, right? We were teaching them how to do those things, but we weren't also teaching them how to read. We're only solving half the problem. So I wanted to get into the classroom and help them improve their behavior and also learning at the same time, help them become good students. So that's how I ended up teaching. Then years later, I now am a coach, a behavior academic coach, and I teach and also improve behavior at the same time.